Hi, everyone. Welcome to Chai With Us podcast. This is episode number 26. I am Erica, the personal developer.
And I'm Ivana from Okolo Isabels.
So, today we're going to talk about something very interesting. I hope it's interesting for you. We're going to talk about our three best comebacks ever.
That's right. First of all, what are you drinking? Because today I'm drinking a vanilla masala chai with almond milk.
Oh, fancy. Okay, so it's really hot in Tenerife. That's not a surprise. Yes,
Yes.
if you listen to our podcast every time, I just say the same thing. So I'm drinking iced tea, and this one is like pina colada. Yeah,
Oh,
pina colada.
yes, I
There's
like that
green
one.
green tea on it and a little bit of pineapple, I guess. I'm not really sure what's on it, but yeah, it's good and fresh.
It sounds good and fresh.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm anxious. I wanted to start because like my three comebacks, I'm like, are they really like really good comebacks? I'm not sure. So I want you to start. And yeah, just I want you to start
Okay.
today.
So one of my first comebacks would be having to move to a different country. So I moved to Germany when I was 6 years old. And
Mm-hmm.
at the time, like when you're six, I didn't know the language, I didn't know anything. It was very scary. So to me, that's a comeback in a way, like once you adjust to living in a foreign country. At first, it was very scary. I felt like a fish out of water. I didn't know where anything was. I didn't have any friends. It was hard to communicate with the friends that I did make. So that to me would be one of my first comebacks is moving to a different country. And so I did that once when I was in Germany, and then the second time again when I moved to the US. And so I was 12 when I moved to the US, and there it was a little bit easier because I'd already been once through the experience. That's the only reason why it was easier. But it felt the same way. It's like you move to a foreign country, you don't know where anything is, you don't know how to do grocery shopping, you don't know where the post office is.
Yeah.
It's very different. Like here, you can go to the post office and you can get everything done at the post office. When I was in Portugal, I had to go to the store to buy paper. Then I had to buy the envelope. I had to buy the tape. I had to go somewhere else to buy the postage. So it took like an hour just to mail one envelope.
um,
I
and
think you're laughing because you know what I'm talking
I Yes, I
about.
know what you're talking about. Of course, I think that right now it's different. I think they're a
Yeah.
little bit better. I think, but I have been out of Portugal.
Uh-huh.
Like I left 6 years ago, so everything I know about Portugal may or may not be true. So
Mhm.
I just zip it, and because I really don't know, I would have to ask
Yeah.
my
This was
brothers
five
because
years ago when I was
yeah,
there. I had to.
so we don't know what's happening. I would have
Yeah.
to check with my brothers because they actually sometimes they send me stuff.
Okay.
They sent me trainers, and I think that they got the envelope and the boxes in the post office.
Yeah, it's just different because I'm so used to just going to one store and being able to buy everything I need, and in other countries it's not like that. You have to go to specialty stores to get things that you want. So
Yeah.
I would say like that was the comeback is like learning how everything functions. Like how do you get a driver's license? How do I write a check? Which bank do I go? How does
Mhm.
the banking work? Where do I get food? What are the grocery stores? Which restaurants do I like? Like which restaurants can I go to?
Yeah.
Yoga classes. Where's the yoga being? Is there even yoga being offered? Because in some places they're not offering yoga at all.
True.
So it's finding all these little creature habits that we have in our country now, and then when you go somewhere else, it's like reestablishing the same habits.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. I have like a similar experience.
Mhm.
And I just one of my best comebacks about moving around is just like when I came here. I live in Tenerife right now. In case you don't know, when I came here, I did not speak Spanish, so I could not communicate. And then I started learning, but I could not be myself. It was horrible.
Mhm.
I could not make jokes. I'm like joking about everything all the time, and I couldn't make jokes. And when I could make jokes, I was like, yes, because it was like the best thing that I could actually like communicate with people and be
Mhm.
myself. Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna share my comebacks with you.
Sure.
Um, I just thought about like moments where I actually hit rock bottom and then I just
Mhm.
came out like a BOSS. Uh, so one of those moments, I'm gonna start because all of this happened in Tenerife. Like I am a different person since I came to this island, you
Okay.
know. So these comebacks are related to this island. So the first one, I'm gonna go like chronologically. The first one was I was living in Lanzarote with my okay, one of my ex boyfriends. I was living with him, and then we were in this like weird situation where we knew that we had to break up, and you know because it was not working, we wanted different things,
Mhm.
but we weren't breaking up. Nobody wanted to make the step. So he went to another island to look for a job. And I stayed in Lanzarote, and I was like, "What the hell? I didn't want to stay in Lanzarote. I wanted to move." So I made the decision to go to Tenerife, and I told him, "Listen, so if you want to come, you just come, and
Mhm.
we'll see or whatever." So I came to Tenerife and we broke up because that's what was supposed to happen. We had to
Mhm.
like I don't hate him, he doesn't hate me. I
Yeah.
care for him a lot, but it wasn't working. So what happened is that we broke up and I was left alone because I just moved to Tenerife. I didn't know like no one. I didn't know
Mhm.
anyone. I
Yeah.
couldn't speak proper Spanish because in Lanzarote I was working in a British bar, so I wasn't even speaking Spanish. I was speaking Spanish and English and then Spanish at home. I had no money. I lost all the money I had,
Yeah.
and I had no freaking job.
Wow.
Like
Okay.
I had zero. I was like broke
Yeah.
and I was broken. Like I had nothing. You would ask,
Mhm.
Erica, so what do you have in your life? Nothing. You know,
Mhm.
you know those moments when you're looking for
Yes.
gratitude and you can't find like things to be thankful for. I always find them, but it was really hard. I had to really
Mhm.
dig in. So that was a
Mhm.
very low moment. And I think that my comeback is like now, I mean, where I am today, you know, I
Mhm.
have a loving relationship, beautiful relationship. I do have a place to live. I'm working. I love my job. I do side things. I love everything I do. It's just like my entire life here in Tenerife comparing to the
Mhm.
story I just told you from
Mhm.
6 years ago is just like
Yeah.
whoa. And I don't even think about it sometimes, you know?
Mhm.
And now I think about it, I'm like, damn, I had nothing. And I'm so proud of myself. Like I built like, a life around me and this beautiful energy around me, and it's freaking
Mhm.
crazy. That was a crazy
Mhm.
comeback.
That's amazing. That is a really great comeback.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's important to talk about these things to look back in our life to see how far we've come now. Now, when we look back, it's like we're
Yes.
not even the same people anymore.
Yes, I'm those type of people that I'm like, oh, I did nothing today. Oh, yesterday I only did that. And I don't,
Mhm.
I sometimes I do have to stop and write all the things I've done because I forget.
Mhm.
I forget
Mhm.
about it. And and then I'm like, what the hell? What am I talking about? Like I do a lot
Mhm.
every day, but I
Yeah.
do forget. And it's good to have conversations like
Mhm.
these ones we're
It
having.
is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my second comeback is related to my first, and it's
Mhm.
learning a foreign language. I think you
Ooh.
can relate to this because I told you it applies to you as well. I think when you first move somewhere and you don't speak a single word of that language, it's incredibly difficult. You cannot communicate basic things like, I need
Mhm.
water, where's the bathroom,
Yeah.
can I buy this, how much does this cost?
Yeah.
It's these simple things that we take for granted. And so when I look back on being 6 and then being 12 and not being able to speak the language, again, I felt like a fish out of water. And communication is so key. That's what people do. We communicate with each other, and not being able to communicate with someone is so difficult. And it can be really hard and heartbreaking too until you learn. And there's definitely some
Mm.
growing pains. So I learned English by watching soap operas, which I talk about all the time. But watching those telenovelas and watching the soap operas online and then reading the subtitles, that's how I learn. So when I look back at like, look how far I've come, like I have a law degree, I write for a living, like now it's part, I've come, and then when I go back to looking at where I was, I didn't speak a single word of English, I didn't speak German, and it's just amazing to see. It feels like I'm not even the same person anymore because now I know how to express myself in a foreign
Yeah,
language.
and you are not. When you don't know the language, you are
Mhm.
shy. You are a
Yes,
shy person
exactly.
because
Yes.
people don't see you because
Mhm.
you don't know how to communicate. It's
Mhm.
crazy.
That was the scariest thing. I used to hate going up in school and having to do public speaking events. Like anytime you have to like read something out loud to everybody or you have to stand in front of the class to say a poem, I dreaded those days. Those were like my nightmares. Uh,
Mm.
and now that's what I do. Like I speak in front of groups of big people and talk about my experience, which is so different than where I
In
was coming
English.
in English. Yes.
That's crazy. For me, that's crazy as well. For me,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Today I said like this Spanish word in class, and my students were like, "You said this," and I was like, "Did I?" Because I have like three languages inside my head, and
Exactly.
sometimes
Yeah.
I don't even realize, and I just feel a word in a
Uh-huh.
different language, and it's so crazy. It's really crazy.
Yeah. We talked about that, about like what language do you journal in? And sometimes it switches from English to German or to Bosnian, whatever. It's like a free form thought. So like everything is,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For me, right now, it's like if I'm, for example, if I have a meeting in English, I'm gonna be writing in English usually. If it is in
mm-hmm.
Spanish, I'm gonna be writing in Spanish. And if I'm writing by myself, it's like English, Spanish, Portuguese, whatever. and it's and it's so crazy, but that's a great comeback because I mean, you
Hmm.
it's like you're no one, and then all of a sudden you are this
Exactly.
person. And don't you notice that people are actually surprised when you start talking, and they're like, "Oh, this person is actually very intelligent, smart,
Yes, exactly.
right?" And it's like
Yeah.
all of a sudden there you are. Couldn't
There's
see
something that
you.
you said a couple of podcasts ago, and you said something to the extent of you couldn't be funny in a foreign language because
Mm,
it you just didn't know how to, or it didn't make any
yeah,
sense when you
that was the
translated it.
that was the hardest thing, and I think I just mentioned 5 minutes ago. Also, I don't know. I'm always
Yeah.
talking about this because it is very like I am a very chilled person. Like I am
Mhm.
chilled. I'm relaxed. I'm like you tell me something, and I will probably make a joke or just make everything go
Yeah.
lighter. And
Yes.
when I couldn't, it was just like I couldn't be myself. It was very very tough because you look serious because you don't know how to say what to say and you're like thinking all
Yes.
the time.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You're right. That I like what you said. You couldn't be yourself, and that's the number one thing.
Yeah.
When you're in a foreign language, you cannot be yourself because you don't know how to yet. You don't have the
Yes.
capacity.
Yeah. It's true. And it's amazing like how kids adapt to things.
Yes.
Like I saw talking about comebacks, I'm a primary school teacher for you on YouTube and Spotify and whatever. Like I'm a primary school teacher, and it's my second year now, and so it's so cool to see like how kids evolve. Like
Mhm.
when you know
Mhm.
this kid and you're like, oh my god, his level is so low, da, and you start working with that kid, and all of a sudden it's like the smartest kid in your classroom, and you're like,
Mhm.
whoa, like whoa, and it is amazing. Some kids come from different countries, and they're just
Yes.
like you, like just like you and I. They learn, they adapt, and
Mhm.
it's like, whoa, who's this person again? It's so crazy and cool.
Yeah, it's true.
It's really cool. Yeah. Um. Okay. So second comeback. Okay, my second comeback was I lost a. Okay, so I was here like 3 years already, 3 years, and I was having fun working as an entertainer.
Okay.
I already didn't I was tired of having crappy jobs. I was ready to find a better job because you know what, now I speak Spanish, now I can communicate. Now,
Mhm.
and so I was ready to get to look for a better job, of course, because when you don't speak the language, I mean, it's not like they're gonna let you be in
Mhm.
normal office. So I got this job as an entertainer, and I was having the time of my life. Like I was having so much fun because, you know, I'm a trained actress. I don't practice. Okay, I don't practice. I don't act. But I mean, so I have a little bit of an actor in me, of an actress, and so I use it in my classes and whatever. But finally I was able to use some of the tools and my talents and my skills and
Mhm.
everything. I was able to
Mhm.
communicate in English, I was able to communicate in Spanish, I was able to throw some parties, dance with kids, and I was like, oh my god, this is the life. I was earning like 800 euros, that for a person who lives alone, it's
Mhm.
not enough. Okay, it's like
Mhm.
it's just not enough. But I was like, yeah, I'm living the life, because it was better than what I was doing.
Yeah.
And so one day, me and my team, we went to work, and they told us that, you know what, you are all fired.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, you are all fired. This company is going to take over the entire hotel and the animation team. You entertainers are not needed again. So my boss was asked to pack on the day of the event, like on
Wow.
site. They like fired her and she had to pack. And we had like to work for 2 days or something like
Wow.
that. And imagine we were like entertaining people, dancing
Mhm.
and singing, and you know, and we
Mhm.
were we were fired already. We
Yeah.
already knew
Wow.
that we lost our jobs, and it was like, oh my freaking god. So, and I was disappointed because one thing is like you lose a job and you don't like the job and
Mhm.
you're like, I'll find something better, I don't care. But in this
Yeah.
case, I was having tons of fun. Like I loved my boss. My boss is like, she was the best. She was like, Erica, you can do whatever you want, just have fun. Like seriously, I was having the time of my life, but I was working hard as well, but it was
Mm.
great. And then what happened? I was like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen. Because the company had a little bit of power over us, they could send us somewhere else. But in the end, I didn't want to be somewhere else. I liked that hotel. I knew that I had, more freedom than in different hotels. So what happened is that they officially fired me, and I went unemployed. And I was like,
Mm.
what do I do now? Because I was earning little money,
Yeah.
and the unemployment, the money that were going to give me was not a lot. So I was
Mhm.
like, I have to make a decision right now. So I was set for 2 days, and I was like, I'm tired of this. I'm gonna move. So
Mhm.
I was living in the south of Tenerife. I was already tired of living there because everybody left. The other
Yeah.
day I was telling you about a friend that I have in Slovenia. He came to work
Mhm.
with us for 2 months, and then he left. It was just like,
Okay.
it looked like all the time I was like saying goodbye to people. And
Mhm.
it's great to be like in an island and everything is very tropical, and but like at the end of the day you want a real life, right? So I was like, okay, this is my opportunity. I'm gonna move. I'm gonna go where the Canarian people are, and I'm gonna try to find, like, to look for a normal job. So it was the best decision of my entire life. I have made some good decisions, but this one was the best decision ever. I had to
Mhm.
move to a friend's, to a, sorry, I just got this. I had to move to a very, very small room, and live very limited for a long time. I
Mhm.
was making like little money out of yoga classes, and then with the money from unemployment. But eventually, I could just, look for a better house, get a regular job, and then I went up, 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 and up the mountain
Mhm.
until I
Mhm.
till I got here. And so I think that it was a very important comeback for me, because it was the decision that changed my life, because
Yes.
probably I would be I wouldn't be here. I think I would have moved, and it would be a shame because I really love my life here right
Mhm.
now. But it was
Mhm.
crazy, and this is like the power of decisions, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Because I could have taken that moment and say, oh, okay, let me take it. And I actually applied for another job in entertainment, and I did
Mhm.
got the job, and they told me after, but I was like, no, not gonna. I'm gonna stay here.
Yeah.
And and uh, and yeah, that's it's crazy. Like one decision, one little thing, like
Exactly.
one, it's enough. I deserve better, and then wow, it's
I
crazy
agree.
thinking about
You're
this.
right about like the one decision, because one
Yeah,
decision can change your whole life.
the really like my entire life changed. It would
Mhm.
be, I would be, I think I would be a different person because
Yeah.
when I moved from the south to the north, that's when things started to hit me.
Mhm.
Things
Mhm.
started to listen, Erika, you are doing the same thing over and over. You're failing.
Mhm.
You're failing at
Mhm.
life. Like I had like very really
Yeah.
I had to have this conversation with me because like
Mhm.
something was wrong. This was happening
Exactly.
over and over. Like I will tell you another comeback and you will see that it's pretty much the exact same thing. Losing
Yeah.
boyfriend, losing the work job, having to change. It's just like,
Mhm. That's exactly the same thing I'm about to say, because my last comeback was in 2017.
Mhm.
I moved back into this apartment where I was seeing a guy, and we were kind of talking to each other. We weren't officially dating, but we were together, in my opinion. And then we broke it off and we stopped talking, and yet I had to continue living in that same apartment building. Then I found out that I had an autoimmune disease that which there's no cure for. And after that, I lost my job on a project I was working on. So I had no job, no guy, like not, and I was sick on top of all that, knowing that like I could never find a cure. I was devastated. All I did was cry all the time, every day, and so everything became very hard. Like the simple things of going to the grocery store. That took such tremendous strength to go to the grocery store to bring my groceries back.
Hmm.
But yoga helped me through that, and I continue to do my yoga practice. And the one decision that I made after that in 2017 was that I was going to come to India, and I ended up living in India for 2 years, working in an ashram where I was teaching people yoga and meditation, and I loved it. And my whole life changed because of that one decision. And now I'm such a different person that when I look back, it's like, who is that? Like, was that me? Like, it doesn't seem like that was actually me. Like, I can't believe that I experienced that, because I'm so different now because of that. And so what you said about, like, losing the job, losing the boyfriend, it's the same thing that happened to me too. And the one decision I made changed my life.
Hmm. I mean, life will hit you in the face with the same problem over and over again
Mhm.
until
Mhm.
you actually do something about it. And
Exactly.
I know that some people don't believe in what I'm saying, but I have experienced it, you know? And I think that it happens with everybody because
Yes.
I talk to a lot of people and I hear similar stories. Like
Mhm.
the same thing is repeating over and over again
Exactly.
until you do something about it. Until I did something about it, I didn't
Mhm.
find stability. I'm living in
Yes.
stability right now. Well, we're living in certain moments, but I live in kind of stability right now
Mhm.
because I actually said, you know what, I'm gonna do things in a different way.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about my third comeback, and I'm still not sure if that's if that this comeback. I don't think it's worth it. I don't know if it is
Why
worth
not?
it, this comeback. I don't
If
know.
it's a comeback, it's worth it. All comebacks are worth it.
Yeah,
However
all
small.
comebacks are worth it. So I wanted to tell you about my last breakup
Okay.
because like my last breakup came as a surprise to me. It was like, I was like, oh, everything is okay. Yeah.
Was this the guy that you were seeing when I came to see you about a year ago?
No, no, no,
Okay.
no, no, no. We didn't have a relationship. Spilling the tea over here, Ivana. Mm. Okay, so like my last breakup, I was in a serious, for me, I was in a serious relationship, For my ex-boyfriend, I was in a relationship. And so one day, imagine just like this afternoon, this random afternoon, he came and he was like, you know what? I don't want to be in a relationship. I
Wow.
just, I'm not feeling this. I don't want to. And I'm like, but what's happening? Like, he didn't give me like the opportunity to even try to fix whatever was happening. He was just like shut
Yeah.
down and he wanted to go. And I was
Mhm.
like, okay, go. And well, not like that. I was dead inside, okay? I was very sad. But it's just like
Yes.
right now, this is so unimportant that I can't even, express. I can't even say it with like a normal face, It was
Yeah.
like right now, it's just so funny and so obvious. What
Mhm.
happens, it's like so obvious. And I'm like, okay, so, but I I dealt with this breakup in such a healthy manner, with such class, with such like, I'm so proud of myself by the way I dealt with this breakup. So basically, I was like, I am going to cry for 3 days. And I cried and I cried. I was like, I called everybody. And then And then, you know what? It's our life is so interesting. Now a memory starts coming to
Yes.
after after this guy broke up with me, I received a message from this person telling me, "Do you want to do yoga events at my yoga studio? I just
Mm.
saw your ad somewhere."
Mhm.
Like, and I was like, I was seriously, I was walking Bonnie, my dog, and I was
Mhm.
crying. Yeah. And then I received a message from this guy, and I was like, universe, are you kidding me right now? You are giving me something and taking it. Okay, I understand. I understand. And I was like still crying because I was sad, but at the same time, like understanding the situation.
Yeah.
This is so crazy because sometimes when you do this inner work,
Mhm.
you can still feel, but it's not the same thing, it's not
Mhm.
like the feelings don't, you let the feelings take over, but you kind of
Yes.
know what's going on. So I cried a lot, and I cut all contact with the guy and everything, and then I got this chance to work, and then I started, and you know what, and I just dealt with this breakup. I wrote about it, I talked to people about it.
Mhm.
And one day I was walking around and I saw a couple kissing, and I was like, oh wow, I'm not sad anymore. I'm actually
Mhm.
happy for them.
Mhm.
And I just moved on with my life, doing the things I love. I
Yes.
realized that he was slowly cutting my legs.
Mm.
When people say, oh, you sure? I'm not sure if that's gonna work. Have you
Mhm.
thought about this and that? Yeah,
Mhm.
do you think you will have the time?
Yeah.
And I was with this person like cutting my wings, and I didn't even
Yes.
realize. Now it's like I know that he did me a great favor. Like
Mhm.
seriously, this guy, he did
Mhm.
me a great favor, because I was slowly dimming my light. It was
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
like,
I know
and
exactly what you're talking about.
it was something that it was not obvious.
Yes.
And now that I'm in this amazing relationship, that I have
Mhm.
somebody like, great idea, do it. What? A
Mhm.
podcast?
Exactly.
That's amazing. How many podcasts? Oh, that's so cool. You are so smart. Yes, do
Yeah.
it.
You
Why
should be
don't
with
you
somebody who
teach?
empowers you.
Exactly. Like, I mean, we all need kind of a cheerleader, like not somebody
Mhm.
who agrees with you all the
Yeah.
time, but somebody that is actually like,
Mhm.
I
Cheering you on.
mean, cheering you. And I mean,
Mhm.
me and my partner, we want each other. I want him to be happy, and he wants me to be happy. And
Right.
like, we know that if we follow our passions, we are going to be happy. And
Yes.
we talk about this all the time. Like, if I practice yoga, like 5 times a week, I'm better. I'm a better
Mhm.
girlfriend.
Yes.
You know, like after I meditate, I'm not gonna come here and fight with you, you know, and have a
I
fight.
agree with what you said. Sometimes when you're deep in the relationship, you don't even see how the other person is cutting you down. I
Yes.
remember one week I worked 60 hours a week. I worked 40 hours during the week and then I worked Saturday and Sunday. So the total I worked 60 hours in the week. I came home and I made him a home meal, like a home cooked meal. And
Hmm.
then afterwards he was telling me that I was on fire and I was arguing with him and and he put me down. And I don't like that. Like I don't think you should put your partner down in any situation.
No,
Yes, you're going to have fights. Yes, you are going to have arguments, but there's certain things that are just not said to each other. And so
no,
I didn't realize that all this attention I wanted from him was attention I needed to give myself.
oh
You know what I
boy.
mean? Like
Yes.
all this like attention I was so desperately seeking from him and always is just attention that I needed to give myself and I didn't even realize it.
Yeah, you said it all. We should give it to ourselves. And whatever we
Exactly.
receive, it's gonna be welcomed, loved,
Mhm.
appreciated. But you have to give this love to yourself
Mhm.
first. Yeah.
But I have to agree with, and I have to say that you need those bad relationships to show you and make you appreciate the good ones. You know what I mean? Like if you've never had a
Yes.
bad relationship, how can you appreciate a good one?
Yes, and also it's like stop. For me, it was like stop picking these guys
Yes, exactly.
because like I know, like right now, I know it perfectly, and it's I am a daddyless daughter. I have this
Mhm.
thing where everybody abandoned me. We spoke about this before.
Yes.
And so I was picking people who I know they would leave. So I
Mhm.
was not surprised. Okay, my last relationship, I was a little bit surprised, but not really. But I mean, I was picking these people. I know
Yeah.
now that I was picking these people because there
Mhm.
were certain sentences that I heard from this person. It was obvious that sooner or later this person would leave. So
Yeah.
I was choosing these relationships out of fear, you know,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
out of auto sabotage, like different things. So it's
Mhm.
it's like for us to be more appreciative when we have a good relationship, but also I think
Yeah.
it's like for us to actually do something. Just like
Mhm.
it's a pattern that we have.
Yes. I agree. I agree.
I
And I
don't know
think
how.
once you heal those aspects about yourself, you stop attracting those types of people.
Yes, and you start taking a look at different people.
Yes.
And I was on purpose, like purposefully looking at other people. I was like,
Mhm.
no, I know this type. Really? I was like, oh
I
no.
think I think a lot of times you can already pick them out and know, oh, I know this guy's gonna do this. I know this guy's gonna do this.
Yes, yes, we
Yeah,
can because we know them so well, right? Because they are attracted
yeah,
by our vibration. And I'm sure that
exactly.
I still vibrate this daedalus thingy,
Mhm,
but I vibrate other things,
mhm.
and I rather go towards those other vibrations. Um, I was
Yeah.
about to say that I don't know how is it possible that we can like speak so much. And like, wasn't this supposed to be a 20-minute show or
Yeah,
something?
it's supposed to be a short one.
That was really short. That was short for us.
Was there anything else that you wanted to say about the comebacks? I think
uh,
one thing that I recognize is that both of us have, I think, similar comebacks in a
mhm.
way, like moving to a different country, learning a different foreign language, dealing with the guy, suffering from a breakup, not having anything, not knowing where the next paycheck is coming from. And look at
Yes.
us now. We're both a testament to like what happens when you put in the work on yourself and you start to change your
Yeah.
vibration around you and your energy and what can happen, how your life can improve immensely.
Yeah. I think what I get from all this is just like there's always something to work on,
Mhm.
and there's always something happening, and
Yes.
sometimes they're very like deep and bad things, and sometimes they're just lighter than that, and there's always something, and life, that's what life is about, like
Mhm.
come back, it's not about the
Mhm.
downfalls, it's just about like coming back, and and changing. And as we said before, like, crisis is an opportunity. So these
Mhm.
stories can be like an example, as you
Yeah.
said, of
Mhm.
like what is possible. And we all have had comebacks. Like,
Yes.
since we were kids, we have had comebacks. You just
Yes.
shared
From
about
the
your
first time of falling
childhood,
off a bike.
for example. Yes, that, or starting to walk, remember, we
Exactly.
were
Yeah.
crawling babies. We were
Yes.
crawling babies, and now we're adults. So
Mhm.
we had to overcome so many things. And
Mm.
sometimes I'm like, I feel that I have everything and that nothing is going to happen. And something
Mhm.
happens. But yeah, but we're here.
Yeah.
We're strong, meaning that we are strong enough to cry, to be vulnerable, and
Mhm.
to face whatever comes to us. I think that's what I
Yeah.
take from here.
I think from our audience, we would love to hear like what is your favorite comeback. You know, everyone has had comebacks. We would love to hear from you and let us know when was the last time you had a big comeback and how you have changed since then.
Yes. Okay, everybody, that's a wrap. Thank you very much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you very much for everybody who's listening to us on podcast platforms, because sometimes we forget about you, but we see you. We see you. We know you're here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.